LinkedIn community. Shea Compton here, Senior Certified Professional in Human Resources through HRCI and SHRM. And I am the Director of Training and Development and an HR consultant on the HR team at the Alliance Group. Welcome to Business Tip Sessions with Shea. This is episode 2. Today we're going to talk about the concept of at-will employment. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Hi, is this Shea? I'm at my wit's end with this employee. They're being so disrespectful, and they're late all the time, and they're just not performing well at their job. I'm gonna need to fire them immediately. It's just bad for the whole team's morale. You're having an issue with an employee? Well, what kind of documentation do you have? What do you mean, documentation? Well, without documentation, I wouldn't recommend letting them go. I don't need documentation. It's an at-will state. Well, there are some exceptions to at-will employment. Okay. I guess I could try to document some stuff. Thanks, Shea. Bye. Does this situation sound familiar? A lot of times it comes up when a manager is at their wit's end with an employee and they're ready to terminate that person, but they haven't quite made the case for the documentation to terminate that individual. And so they're frustrated. They're ready to cut ties. And when you ask for the documentation and they don't have it, they're like, well, Nebraska's an at-will state. I don't need a reason to terminate this person. Back in the day, I didn't really know what to say to that assertion because it is true that Nebraska is an at-will state. And that does technically mean that you can terminate someone or the employee can terminate their employment at any time. So why are HR people all up in arms when you tell them that you don't have documentation and you tell them that you want to terminate someone? Why do they recommend against it? Why are they making you get all this paperwork? Isn't that all documentation is? Paperwork and busy work? Well, it turns out there are some actual legal exceptions to at-will employment. You can't fire someone for discriminatory reasons. So if that person is a protected class, they could come back saying that they were terminated for reasons under the Civil Rights Act, for example. You can't terminate someone for exercising their rights that are protected under federal or state law. So did they recently go on FMLA leave or return from FMLA leave? Did they recently complain of protected activity or whistleblow on some illegal activity? Because those are also protected under law. Did they take time to serve in the military or take time to vote or take time off to serve on a jury? These are all protected categories. Complaining about illegal activity, discrimination or harassment, or health and safety violations in the workplace. And in some states, legal off-duty conduct is also protected. So if you're in one of those states, that could be a problem as well. Filing a workers' compensation claim. Implied contracts in some states are also an exception to at-will employment. So if you have any statements in your handbook that says you're going to follow a particular procedure before you terminate someone, then that could be seen as a violation of that implied contract if you don't follow that excerpt from your handbook. And then some states also have a covenant of good faith and fair dealing, which says that you basically need to have just cause to terminate someone's employment, and it can't be for reasons motivated by malice or bad faith. And so all of those are legal exceptions, potentially, depending on your state, and some of those are federally protected as well, that can be exceptions to at-will employment. So the point is, even though maybe you didn't do anything illegal or that even falls into those categories, however, any employee can bring a cause of action against your company. So if they can cry discrimination, then they can file a lawsuit. There's also some moral problems as well. Think about it. It's that age-old adage of treat others how you want to be treated, correct? Well, put yourself in their shoes. Would you want to be terminated without so much as a write-up or even a verbal warning to know that this was coming? Best practice is to make sure that when you're terminating someone, that all the groundwork has been laid beforehand so that that person should not be surprised when this happens. Another reason for that is it's actually good for risk management as well. If you terminate someone without any verbal or written warnings to indicate that this would be coming, then they're more likely to want to get back on the company. A lot of people's actions of wanting to get back at the company or legal actions and lawsuits actually stem from the fact that they felt that they were treated unfairly. So a lot of times it comes down to your day-to-day interactions with your employees and how fair that they feel they've been treated, which is why documenting and laying that groundwork is so important as well, because it does help establish for the employee that they are on that road to termination. The last thing is you have to remember that if you go to court, the jury may not be in your favor. So you'd like to think, well, they have no proof that any of this happened, but the burden of proof will be on you. And then if you're just leaning on that at-will doctrine, then you're going to be in a pretty risky situation. And a lot of people, you have to think, have had an unfavorable experience at one point in their life with a company. There is a perception sometimes in America right now, I feel like, of the evil corporation, right? And so we have to remember that. And we have to remember that if this goes to a jury trial of some sort, that those people on that jury may be reflecting back on a negative experience that they had with a previous employer. And in that case, they may not be on our side or rule in our favor. So those are all reasons to make sure that you document and you follow progressive discipline, and that you don't just lean on that at-will doctrine when you're terminating someone. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked what you saw, please make sure to follow me, Shea Compton, on LinkedIn, as well as the Alliance Group and Business Tip Sessions with Shea. There will be more to come, and I hope you'll share this with other people that you hope will find this helpful as well. Thank you, and have a great day.